Sponsored
Here,
by Alpha Brain.
sponsored by Alpha Brain, sponsored by Blue Chew. Here on fucking Mike Media Incorporated, Serpentine Speaks. We are here with Megan Page, host of Your Friends Podcast. And
Let's go.
I'm excited to have you on the show. You're a pretty cool person to DM with and shit. And you do a pod. What's up with the breathing, yo?
Oh, can you hear me breathing? Here, let me
Yeah,
get it
we
away
are
from
human. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. But nah, you have a podcast called Your Friends Podcast. Talk about how you started that and what can we expect from that show.
Yeah, that's such a good question. And it's so great to be here. I'm super stoked. Um, been looking forward to this for a fat minute, so great to be here. Speaking of a fat minute, I took 3 fat bowls before this of marijuana, so I'm just like super stoked and on a good vibe right now. Yeah, so I host a podcast called Your Friends Podcast. How it started, that's actually an interesting question. Okay, so I moved to Sacramento like about 2 years ago, and I'm from Humboldt County, California. You know, where all the good weed is from. You know what I
Did you
mean?
say Humboldt County?
Yeah, have you heard of it? It's like, I mean, I know you're not from California, but it's kind of known as like the weed place, the place that has like the dankest weed, you know?
Did you just say the dankest?
Yes.
You're
The
using these terminology like stoked, dank.
it's California vocabulary, you know?
Yeah,
Stoner.
I say
I'm
wooder
okay.
and bagel because I'm from Delaware. But anyways, so you're from
That
what?
that's interesting. Because I feel like everyone from each state, they kind of have their own lingo and like a way and like an accent kind of.
Do you say hella a lot?
Unfortunately, yeah. Like like low key, hella like
That's
it's
low key fire, bro.
it's rough out here if I'm being honest with you. And I always never wanted to be like the girl who was like, "Oh, it's giving da da da," you know, like, "Oh, like my shirt is giving farmer." My bed's giving like divorced dad who lives in the woods and hunts on the weekends.
Yeah,
You know, like uh yeah.
plumber dad
What
vibes.
was it?
Plumber dad vibes. Beard.
Yeah, like drinks Coronas
Cuts
with
trees
lime.
down in anger.
Oh, absolutely. Like has like raging anger issues, like needs to go to therapy but won't. For sure.
Represses his emotions to the brim.
Yeah. That's not me though. I go to therapy. I'm not describing myself. I'm describing like a dad. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah,
Therapy. Everyone should go to therapy.
I go to therapy 4 days a week. Well, it's like I'm in a program type of thing, but it's like groups and shit. So like, yes, people need that shit.
Wait, that's so cool. Wow. So, do you get like a lot of like support and help out of that?
Yeah, like it's like the group kind of thing where we just like talk about like shit, like substances, trauma, like like depression, anxiety, like it's like this kind of program, and I have like one-on-one, but they're stepping me down because I'm making good progress and shit.
Let's go. That's super cool. Yeah, I think therapy benefits everyone, especially like group therapy. I had never been to group therapy until I went into the psych ward. Um, I think about 10 months ago, and it was extremely helpful. Like I went involuntarily, so like I checked myself in, like I went to the ER and told them that I was having like suicidal ideation, and then I really thought that if you admit yourself to the psych ward, you could just like leave whenever, like 3 days and you're
Nah,
good, right? Like
nah.
that's not how it works. Your rights are like completely taken away. Like you are stuck there until the doctor or the psychologist until they think you're okay. And for me, I thought I was okay to go like the third day, and they kept me in there for a week. And That was
Damn.
crazy in itself. It was my psych ward experience was like it wasn't fucked up because I want to say like there's a lot of people that have really fucked up experiences in psych wards. They can be really dark depending on what facility you go to, and
Yeah.
you don't really get a say on what facility you go to. If you just like go to the ER and all that. But I was lucky enough to go to a pretty decent one. But I still had some really like fucked up, strange experiences there. That's for
Like
sure.
what?
Okay, so here's how it works in the psych ward. So you get like a room, or at least the one I went to. There's a room, right? And you're sharing a room with someone else. So I was sharing a room with this girl named Sequoia. So there was two beds in the room, and then we both had like our own like little nightstands, and then everything we brought there with us, like a bag of clothes. She was there for postpartum depression, so she had like all her like nipple milking shit and all that, just like all that shit. And then I had all my like blankets and clothes and shit.
Yeah.
and and we shared a bathroom with our neighbors, and then our neighbors was also like two women. Except there was only one woman in the other room because she was like really fucking crazy and delusional, so she literally could not have a roommate. It's like no
Yeah.
one wanted a fucking room with her. Or like they'd get so many complaints. And her name was Deborah. This bitch was fucking insane, bro. She would come in our room through the bathroom, which she's not allowed to do, and I think like every 8 to 12 minutes they open the door to like check on us if we're in our rooms.
Yeah.
And if they opened the door and Deborah was in our room, she'd go and hide in the bathroom, and we'd be like, oh my god. Anyway, so she'd come in our room and then just start telling the most insane stories. She's like, yeah, I was with my boyfriend and he was tatted up, and yeah, we were just like out in the street and then these walls opened up and these aliens came down. Back in 1989, those are when all the aliens came to Earth, and I'm just like, Deborah, what the fuck? Like, go back in your room, please. It was, but also it was such a great source of entertainment, and like, yeah, it was. She was interesting. I met this other guy named oh my god, Tony the Tiger. So I called him Tony the Tiger, like like the Frosted Flakes tiger, and he called me Megan the Stallion. And this this man looks like he's like 30, right? Or like in his late 20s. He was the day he came into the psych ward was his 51st birthday. And this guy had like a crazy personality, but it was great because this was like my second day in the psych ward, maybe third. Like, like there's not a lot of entertainment there. Like we have the TV and the TV living book room type thing, like
Yeah.
your lunchroom, common area. And when Tony came in, he was just like this beautiful, like bright energy, and he was very positive to everyone. Like he was definitely like a little bit annoying, but he said this like the first day I met him, he was like, "Yeah, I'm Megan Thee Stallion. Like when I get out of here, like I'm gonna give you like $500 for your podcast. Like I believe in you." He would just say the craziest shit. Like I literally have a book of like Tony's quotes. I literally had my psych word journal, and one of my drawings that I drew was SpongeBob, and it was a thought bubble, and it was like, hope I don't go insane, because I was like low-key going insane in there. Um, but yeah, Tony the Tiger was so funny. There was a lot of people I met there who just had really funny, crazy personalities, and honestly, like, when I got out of the psych ward, I got home from the psych ward, and there were cockroaches in my bed,
That don't help.
and like, and no, it was not fun. And then I was sitting in my car and I was like, I want to go back. Like it was safe there. Because it really was like to tie it into like what you're talking about, like with group therapy and stuff like that. Like I had a lot of group therapy there, and that really helped me. And it was kind of just every day you're getting support. And the reason why I went in there was because I was just at a point where I felt really alone. I had just gotten out of like living in my car. I lived in my car for 4 months. And when I got out of that and finally got into my own place, like I got in my own place, but I was still completely lonely and just very
Yeah.
depressed, going into a dark place. So that's kind of like when I went in, and I have a therapist, but she kind of agreed that I needed more support, not just once a week, and the psych ward definitely helped me a lot, and I learned a lot about different things, trauma therapy, like yoga, like it was cool to hear other people's stories and feel connected in that way. I feel like if if more people got that, it would just be a happier world. I just feel like uh, we lack community
Yeah, yeah,
now,
exactly.
everyone as a total, and that's kind of what I want to do with my podcast. I kind of want to create a community and environment where I mean, I want to be a distraction. I want to be funny and talk about funny, crazy shit because I have a lot of crazy fucking stories
Yeah.
that I just don't know how has happened to me. But I also want it to be an environment where it's honest and real. Like I want to talk about real things that people resonate with in hopes that someone out there watching it feels a little bit less alone in the world. Because that's what I always felt watching podcasts or just YouTubers that I really resonate with talk about their trauma, or, how their parents were addicts, how their mom was an alcoholic, and, I just really resonate with people talking about real shit, trauma, depression, anxiety, like all of it.
That's why I
That,
avoid the
I,
gimmicky shit, like podcasts that are just like, we're gonna have a dating contest and shit. It's like, no, like talk about real fucking shit. Like what shows are you like a big like supporter of?
oh, that's such a good question. So, currently, I really have been loving the Theo Vaughn's podcast.
Fuck yes, fuck
I
yes.
love Theo Vaughn.
It's so
He's
funny.
so awesome. He's so funny, and like, even like when he's absolutely not trying to be funny, he's just fucking hilarious, and he has just a very unique personality,
Yeah,
and he's just really positive. I feel like he radiates just good vibes, and if I'm having anxiety, that's always a great podcast for me to watch.
yeah.
I also really love Jeff FM with Jeff Wittick, Tana Mojo. And I also really love how Mike Malak goes on there a lot. I love Mike Malak. I used to watch Impulsive a lot, but I don't know, Logan, like I love Mike Malak. Like I watched that show for Mike, you know what I mean? Logan's just kinda over here like uh I don't wanna
Yeah,
be
like
mean.
he's such like a fucking
He's just a
he's a
little he's,
blockhead.
he has a lot of narcissistic tendencies, I feel like.
Yeah,
And I really like Mike. I think he
it's more
he can just
honest.
he's so honest, he's open, he's vulnerable, he's not afraid to be vulnerable. He's not afraid to point out shit that like is wrong or shouldn't be said. And honestly, he's very inspiring to me. And I really love how vulnerable he is because I think vulnerability is what connects us with each other.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Also, I like Mike. You know what I mean? But and the other guy George or whatever. But Logan's just like after hearing about that crypto shit, the scam. Like I can't fuck with that. But I do like his show. I do like Impulsive, and there has been a lot of good episodes. But Mosquito,
Absolutely.
fuck
You know, I
mosquitoes.
think I fuck mosquitoes. I think Impulsive really thrives when it's just the boys only episodes.
Yeah.
I I tend to enjoy those a lot more than when they have guests.
There's too many people
Maybe,
for guests because there's already three people, and it's like the fourth
yeah.
person. Like it's like they're all like having a dick measuring contest about who is interviewing the guests. When it's really like there's just too many people there. Like that's why like there's a lot of jokes online about like how George tries to butt in on the conversations, but he never gets to say anything because there's already two other people there besides him trying to interview like the guest and shit. Like
Yes. And the fact that he's literally like turned away from everyone. Like he's so isolated. Like the guests are literally have their back towards him. So it's just like how is he supposed to say anything? So yeah, I feel like it is like too many people. Um, Honestly, Logan should just leave.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make the show better. But like then again, it is hard to have like more than two people on a show. I've actually interviewed a couple
Yeah.
people at a time, or interviewed one person with another person. See, it's a lot to fucking deal with because first off, when you're on like a digital call, it's just like really hard. But what I had to do, one of my biggest interviews was with an artist named Sempra and his and one of his artists he makes music was named Teddy Slugs, and it was just hard because like I had to make 2 pages of questions, one for Sempra and one for Teddy Slugs, and I had to be like, ask them a question, and then I was like, we'll have Teddy go first because I asked blah 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 questions a lot, so Teddy, you go first. So it's like a lot of like I can't just have anything go fluid because if I say a question, like who knows who's gonna go first? It's like fucking
Yeah,
it gives you a headache.
it's very confusing. Honestly, I kind of felt that when I had so my first 5 episodes of my podcast, I had a co-host. Her name was Liv, and we shot like 5 more podcasts than that. Those 5 just didn't make it up because those were like the first ones we filmed, so they're very like me getting used to speaking in front of a camera and things
Yeah,
like that, and us kind of like getting our vibe right. But she was a really great co-host. She moved away to Florida though, so that's why I took like a break from the podcast for a while because I was like, well, I can't do it unless I have a podcast co-host. But it's like I thought about it and I'm like, it was honestly kind of hard interviewing a guest with my co-host Liv because I felt like one of us couldn't say as much as we wanted to, and I
yeah,
couldn't get on that deeper level with the guests. Like I'm really great at one-on-one conversations because that's kind of what allows me to get deep with the person. So I'm like, fuck it, I don't need a co-host. I might have like regular friends that come on, but at this point, I'm just kind of doing it myself, and I really love talking to people and just kind of getting on that deep level. So, yeah, I'm riding solo. So I definitely agree with you on that. It's hard when there's multiple people.
but I think you organize your shit pretty well. Like especially with the timestamps and also like how would you say you organize an episode, like filming it and like topics and shit. Like how do you think you do that? Like how do you do that?
Hon- Honestly, for some of them, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna free ball it. But I'll do research and I'll have things in my head. But for my last episode about drug addiction, and I think I felt a lot of pressure to say the right things because addiction is such a huge problem,
Yeah.
especially with people our age. It's just,
Yo.
it's at an all-time high now more than ever. So I'm like, okay, when I talk about this topic, and because I have so much experience with addiction through my mom, through my brother, through myself, I have the addictive gene like no other. Um, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I can get addicted to like the anything and everything. So I just try to stay away from like bad stuff. Um, what was I saying? Damn it.
That you had a lot of
Damn.
pressure with it. So like did you? So are you saying like
Oh,
you organize
yeah.
the episode like very well because there's a lot of pressure with it?
Yes, I organized it extremely well. By the end of like me doing research, I actually had 9 pages of notes in my Google
Shit.
Docs. But I learned that that's way too much to have while you're doing a podcast because you're not just gonna like sit there and scroll through and so that was
Yeah.
too much in my opinion. But I definitely said a lot of things that I'm very proud about. Um, but then another part of me is like, whoa, that was still like very vulnerable and
You were
scary
telling me
and
about that.
yeah, so I opened up a lot on the last podcast episode. I opened up about my own addictions, which, you know, have ranged from a lot of things, sex, food, fucking drinking, alcohol, weed. I mean, I've smoked weed every day, all day for like the past 6, 7 years. And I feel like a lot of people can say, "Oh, you're not addicted. You can't get addicted to weed." But like you can. I promise. Like
Any substance you
you
can
absolutely,
abuse.
absolutely. I'm like coke. I've been like blow. I've been addicted to Adderall. I had a
That's a
problem
big
with.
one. Adderall, like I know someone who's going through. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's like Wall Street kind of bro, and he's going through like he needs that shit to like work and shit, but he has a problem that a lot of people like in the kind of young, not young adult, semi like young, yeah, young adult. I don't fucking know, but like 19, 18 to like, I mean even in high school, I know some high schoolers that fucking do that shit. So I'm only like
Yeah,
9 months out of high school, you know what I mean, and 9 months like sober. So it's like there's still like that a lot of people fucking abuse the fuck out of Adderall because when you're young, you have all these expectations in front of you. Get fucking good grades, you know what I'm saying? Be good at everything. So like there's a lot of insecurity at our ages, you know?
absolutely. And Adderall, it's literally like fucking meth. Like it's literally fucking meth. I remember like I had a really bad problem with it my senior year of high school. I took like three AP classes that year. Like I was taking AP classes since sophomore year. Like I was a good student, but I would miss school a shit ton. And this it like sounds silly when I say it. I lived a block away from the school. And my senior year, I missed over 100 days. Like I was very lucky I even graduated. And it was just because my home life was so fucked up. Like when I got home from school, my mom would be blackout drunk, like pounding on the walls, like other really crazy shit. She'd like fall asleep in the toilet every night. Like just traumatic ass shit, yelling, screaming. And I was very depressed and unmotivated to do anything. I would literally just lay in my bed all day. Why would I go to school or care about that when like
Yeah.
when this is happening right in front of me and I'm scared and traumatized. Like I'd have stomach aches for like 3 weeks in a row from stress. And that's why I have chronic acid reflux now. Anyways, high school fucking sucked, dude.
Fuck high school.
Um,
Like yeah.
Fuck high school. I forgot what my oh yeah, so I wouldn't go to school, right? So I'd be behind on like all my work assignments. And this one girl, I won't say her name, but she was just like very socially awkward and a lot of people just didn't talk to her because she was just like she would blurt things out that were like kind of like not like TMI like they were gross. You just like don't really say that, but she would just kind of like blurt things out and stuff, and people thought she was really weird. But she was a
Yeah.
very nice human being, and I always I liked her. To be honest, I have like a weird problem with like blurting shit out. I don't know what's wrong with my brain,
You are
but
a
like also
podcast host.
that's
So
true.
we do like to talk a lot.
Yes, and I feel like, even if it's weird, like it's entertaining. So it's like I
Yeah.
feel like it's fine if I do it. Like if I say like, yeah, like dated a sociopath and like one of my ex-boyfriends peed on my leg, like I don't know, like it's whatever, like at least it's entertaining. Like
Yeah.
that's literally all true.
Yeah.
But yeah, this socially awkward girl, we'd talk a lot. Well, not a lot, but like I was one of the only people who would like converse with her and stuff. And she would give me Adderall and like because she would get extras for her prescriptions. Like, oh, I don't need these, and she's just the type of person to, like give stuff out to like her friends.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean that's what happens when
which
like you don't
sucks.
have a lot of like friend like people around you like or you don't feel good about yourself. You know what I mean? Like that's like kind of what I would do with like substances too. Like this is kind of how it goes.
Absolutely, and I've done that numerous times, and it sucks because it does make you vulnerable, and I feel like, people see that as like a sign of weakness, and you're more likely to get stepped on if you're the type of person that just like gives things away, whether it's, like whether it's like books, whether it's Adderall, whether it's weed, whether it's blow, whether it's driving your friends around all the time and never asking them for
That's a
gas
big
money.
one. That's a big one. Yeah.
You don't even want to know how much that's happened to me. That's a whole thing. I just got like better at sticking up for myself and saying no and like realizing when I'm being manipulated. I
Boundaries.
figured that out. About yes,
Boundaries
Exactly.
are important.
Empathy. Okay, everyone, repeat after me. Empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. That.
Yeah, empathy without
Clip that for you.
boundaries is self-destruction. Yeah, like I would the step on thing, like that shit would happen a lot. Like I had this one girl, we would hang out all the time, and something common is she would just basically use me for weed, and I overheard that she didn't fuck with me, that she didn't like me, and at all, and she actually hated me, and she only hung out with me to smoke my weed. So that kind of hurt.
That literally happened. That literally happened to me. Like while I was living in my car. It's that. See that. That's always a bad feeling when you figure it out. You know, like the moment you kind of realize, oh wow, this person has been manipulating me and using me for weed. Like it's literally
That's
what happened to me.
devastating.
It's absolutely devastating. I And for me, like, it was always in the back of my mind. Like, there's this guy named Charlie. Fuck Charlie. My third podcast episode is about him because he never paid me back. He owes me $80 for weed, dog. $80. And this man lives in El Dorado Hills. And I know you're not from California, but, like, it's near Sacramento, and that's, like, a rich ass. It's fucking rich as fuck. Like, not like Beverly Hills, but, like,
Yeah.
almost not almost but like 70%, you know what I mean? Like it's fucking up there. And this guy lived there and he was just like very charming and beautiful and was a Grateful Dead fan and very free spirited. You know, he was an Aquarius male. They're so free spirited but like very fun. And I'm very free spirited. I'm a Libra. Dude, I
When
know people
what
are gonna
month
watch
is
this.
that?
October and September,
Damn, you're
I
right
believe.
next to me. I'm a
Wait,
fucking Virgo.
I'm wrong. It's the month before October and October, like half and half. Because I think the end of October is Scorpio. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think so, because my mom's a Scorpio and she's like November 15th or
Okay,
16th.
yeah.
Fuck. I can't believe that. I forgot my mom's. It's weird because my mom and my dad's birthday are a day apart. So like I always confuse the two.
Oh, I would do that too. I struggle with my mom and dad's birthday. I don't even know my dad's birthday or my
Damn.
mom's. Uh, I'm not
Damn.
close with them, so it's like,
I
whatever.
mean, yeah, that makes sense. That
Yeah, but
like you wouldn't remember that.
yeah, but back to Charlie, yeah, I was living in my car and he would like drive from El Dorado Hills to like 20 minutes to like where I was living in my car at, and then we'd like smoke. Most of the time it was like always my weed. I'd be like rolling joints, you know, and like weed's not cheap. Um, but yeah, he'd just like meet up with me and then like we'd go out to Lazy Dog, which was like my favorite restaurant, and he'd be like, "Oh, like I didn't get paid yet." Oh, this man has a whole ass job at a shoe place, and I'm living in my car. Like, and he's like, "Oh, I don't have my wallet. Can you pay?" Like living in El Dorado
For
Hills, like
dinner.
for dinner and like joints. And then
And
And then I was like, you know, I swear when I'm talking, he's almost like like I would catch him like not paying attention, like going like this. And then I'd be like, is this what is he doing? Like is he manipulating me? Like it'd be in the back of my mind. And then I'd be like, no, because then he'd always sweet talk me, right? Then he'd
yeah,
compliment me. He knew what he was doing. Like he's definitely a narcissist. That's what narcissists do. They don't see people as fucking people. They see people as what can they gain from them. If it's weed and a dinner, they're gonna get weed and a dinner. But
yeah. Damn, bruh.
yeah,
Fuck
and after
Charlie.
like fuck Charlie, dude, that's what I'm
You
saying.
smoking
Like, give
that
me my
Charlie
$80.
pack?
And okay, here's how I. Sorry, I got excited. Here's how I learned to stick up for myself. So I was like, okay, I realized what was going on with Charlie, because thanks to my therapist also for snapping me into reality, like she always does. And I was like, oh, wow, you're right. He's using me. Okay, cool. So here's what I did. I was like, all right, fuck this guy. And like, I also need to get like my money back because if I don't like if I just text him, he's never gonna pay me back. And I'm like, oh, I'm done with you, you know? So I'm like, hey, let's meet up. Do you want to meet up? Like I'll roll us a joint and I'll pay for a lazy dog. And he was like, yeah, on my way. So I'm like, bet. So I'm parking in the parking lot that I sleep at. And then he drives to me. And I see like his green truck pull up, and my heart's like palpitating. So I'm about to tell this man off, you know, and like try to get my money back. And I knew he was gonna try to charm me, you know, like he was gonna try to manipulate his way out of it
Yeah.
and like gaslight me. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna record this, like I'm gonna voice memo this so that I can listen to it after and be like, yeah, I made the right decision. Like he was gaslighting me, which is exactly what happened. I listened to it after. It was like a 30-minute. Literally, I just told him I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I can tell you're using me, and I'm like, I deserve better friends than that. And then he went on for like 30 minutes trying to like manipulate me and like talk me out of it, but I was very firm.
That's good.
And then yeah, and so that's when I kind of learned like, oh, I can do this, and like, I don't have to put up with being treated like this by anyone. Um, but I also had like stuck up for myself to my family because they kind of abandoned me when I was homeless, and I had to stick up to a lot of people in my family in order to stop being the person that was always walked on. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, once I can stick up to my dad, to my brothers, to my mom, to my, you know, my cousins, whoever, I I can stick up for myself now. And so that's kind of how it's been. But yeah, fuck Charlie. And
Stick
yeah.
up for yourself, humans that are watching this.
Yeah, boundaries are really important
And
because people will walk
assertiveness.
all over you. Yes, it's I still struggle with saying no,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate, but it's a work in progress. I'm a lot better than where I was a year ago. And that's also something um that I think a lot of people should think about more, and something I need to think about more whenever I get really down on myself and I'm like, fuck, dude, like I'm not like where I am in terms of like podcast views or like, you know, just I'm not where I want to be yet. And I get down on myself and I'm like, look, I compare myself to other people, but then when I think, wait, wasn't I homeless a year ago and like now I'm not? Like that's pretty cool. Like you're doing a lot better than you were a year ago. Um, so I think that's important, just kind of like taking a step back and looking at how far you've come from a year ago or 2 years ago or 5 months ago, and just kind of you don't need to compare yourself to others because for me that's extremely detrimental. And yeah, I'm just kind of telling people what I need to hear more.
Nah, but it's a
'Cause-
good thing to kind of tell yours to like compare. What's the fucking quote? It's like compare yourself to yourself, like your old self, like compete with yourself. Like that's the only thing you can fucking do. Like I mean,
yeah,
like even I get that shit with my brother too. Like I always compete with him like unintentionally. Like in my head, sometimes I'll be like I always be like talking him down. Like in my head, I'm like he's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. Like you know what I mean? We're on different paths in our lives, or friends too. Cause I got like a lot of like nine, and now that I'm thinking about like 9 months ago was the worst fucking I was like I mean I'll talk about it fucking like I was like on the run with like 5 warrants for my arrest, so like that is a good like now I'm like I had college, 2 jobs, group therapy, and I'm back doing YouTube and music, and I'm gonna perform at a concert Saturday. That's tomorrow now, it's Friday.
no way.
So like it's just like
That's so cool.
compare yourself to yourself, peoples, because that shit's important. Everybody's like fucking like my cousin just got a new job. Like fuck your cousin, respectively.
Respectfully.
Respectfully.
No
Yeah.
Alabama shit.
No Alabama shit. Fuck. You're beating me in the sense of humor game in this little
Dude,
podcast. You're really beating me today.
dude, it was the weed. It was the weed.
You're really comedic today. You have not seen Lady Bird. I was just gonna ask you if you've seen Lady Bird, but you have not seen it. So fuck.
I gotta watch it. I'll watch it, and then
Yeah.
I can come.
And then what? You're muted. Hold on, hold on.
Oh wait, I fixed it.
There we go. What were you saying?
So I hit a button. I'm gonna watch it and then come back on and we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Fuck.
Because if it's from Sacramento and I live here now, I mean I don't live in Sac. I live like around it.
What, like
Um,
Vacaville?
no, that other side, more like east towards Reno, like
Damn.
Auburn area, Roseville. I don't know if you. Oh
I
wait,
know
how have you heard of
Reno.
Vacaville? You've heard of Vacaville? Wait, what state do you live in again?
I live in Delaware. That's near Philadelphia.
Delaware. That's
No, I
crazy.
got a friend I make music with, and I got like a couple friends from Vacaville that like are on the podcast a lot.
What?
And also I love
That's so.
Sacramento music. There's a lot of
Yes.
rappers from there, like rappers and shit like that. Like there's new and old shit from there, but like let me think. Who's from from not from Vacaville? Fuck. Well, who's from Vacaville? Silent Ship and Taylor Truga. Shouts out to them. Anyways, fucking Brother Lynch Hung, Sibo, and Chewy. Those people are from Sacramento. And
Let's go.
but yeah, Sacramento's a good music scene. But so where'd you grow up? Talk about that.
Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, so sorry, my brain was just like, oh,
Yeah.
uh-oh. No, but like in a good way. Well, okay, so I grew up in Humboldt. I grew up in Humboldt County, California. It's like 2 hours below the Oregon border in California on the coast.
Damn.
So it's very like northern California on the coast. Um, Very foggy there, lots of redwoods. Also, Humboldt County, specifically like Eureka, which is like the city in the county where I'm from. Yeah, so the thing about Eureka is it's like has one of the highest crime rates in the whole country. There's tweakers everywhere.
Is that what you call
Like,
crackheads?
yes, that's what we call crackheads in
Tweakers?
Cali. Or
Are
like,
you serious? You say tweakers? Like you actually say that?
well, I actually think it's just a Eureka thing because there's homeless people everywhere, which is fucked up, and like I don't want to say like that's bad because like that's an issue in itself, like
Yeah.
but a lot of these people take do meth and heroin, and so they walk around town kind of just tweaking out like I don't want to like okay, I shouldn't do any gestures to like make fun of them. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like we grow up in Eureka dealing with it, so we kind of have to make fun of it. Otherwise, it's really fucking sad.
That
Because
makes
it's
sense.
everywhere. Very small town. Meth and heroin are a huge problem there. Very bad. And I just feel like Humboldt has a very dark energy. Even the nature is like really beautiful. Like you got the ocean, you got the redwoods, you got like the nice weed, the mushrooms, beautiful climate, like the beaches, it's great, right? All the smoke spots, amazing. But the tweakers and the people there, it's just so small and it feels so isolated from the rest of the world that it's just a depressing place to raise a kid, in my opinion. Oh, some people from Eureka would disagree with that. Like, I have friends who are great, who have been my friends for a long time. The homies, shout out Josh's Treehouse and Logan's Garage. Shout out the homies. They're great. And they like Humboldt. They're stoners. They're positive people. They're funny, they're intelligent, they're amazing, and they like living there. I can't do it.
Yeah.
There's just like way too much trauma there for me, and just darkness. But growing up there was interesting. Everything was my middle school experience was okay. Like I definitely got, bullied in a couple of group chats for sure. But that's like everyone's middle school experience,
Oh my
unfortunately.
god, yo, I fucking
Middle
hated
schoolers
middle school, bro.
Middle schoolers are so fucked
I
up,
was I
dude.
was cruel to people, but I was also like like cruel, like fucked up, like by a lot of shit. Like I remember like I got in an argument with someone because he was using my iPad, and I was like, "Yo, like, give me my fucking iPad back," and I took it from him. He just punched me in my face, and I was like 12, and then I was fucked up too. Like I was just getting in a lot of fights, like over girls and shit. I was like hella toxic and shit, and I was just around a really bad culture. And high school got worse because then that's when I started fucking, um, like just selling drugs and doing dumb shit.
I get that.
But I
I
did
feel like
start.
especially if like that's like the culture you kind of grew up in and are around, like it's kind of hard to like not be a
Yeah,
part of it.
yeah, exactly. Like it's like very glamorized. Like in see look like what is cool in not what is cool, but like what is fucking glamorized should not be glamorized. So what should be glamorized is having your fucking shit together. like, like enjoying life and not fucking people over. Like
Absolutely.
but it's fun. I mean that's what we were talking about earlier about how like addiction is bad for like people our age just because um it is glamorized to fuck your life up at this age. You got like in music, in TV. I mean like even like Euphoria, like I love Euphoria and it's like relatable in a lot of aspects, but like a lot of shit in that is like when you get angry, you write your own episode of Euphoria based on your life. It's like I hope that your life is not like Euphoria, like people who watch Euphoria, like and I don't think it ever should be because like I don't know if you get what I mean.
Absolutely get what you mean. And I'm a fan of Euphoria, but I definitely think like even like TikTok glamorizes the fuck out of like addiction, like with the fucking Borgs, you know, like the vodka water gallons, like so many people end up in the hospital with the like there's a trend where like people would video themselves like rolling on Molly or like you know, like on tweaking on
Fuck.
Xanax. Not like tweaking on Xanax. I guess you're just more of like a zombie. But it's just like or like it's it's really heavily glamorized and it's just I don't know, there needs to be more conversations and more just vulnerability and less glamorization, less like, oh, look what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't know, maybe think about how that affects like a 15-year-old girl like scrolling on it and just like seeing
Desensitizes.
that. Yeah, like it's very strange. Oh, what I was gonna say though, I wouldn't have guessed that you like got in like fights and stuff. So my follow-up question with that is, do you think I've been in a fight before?
I mean, um, yeah, probably a couple. Like just like
Okay,
not nothing crazy, but like yeah,
you know, that's a compliment, I think. Thank you. I actually have never been in a fight, but I slapped a girl in seventh grade because she was being racist to my best friend. She like commented about her eyes and like my best friend was Hmong and I just like she we also I also had a past with this girl, you know, like this girl I moved to her elementary school in sixth grade, and you know the new girl's always popular, the new guy's always popular. That's how like elementary school works,
yeah, yeah.
because like it's just like new thing, like I don't know, and like a new toy, you know, like everyone's a kid,
Yes.
you know, I don't know. And um this girl Hannah, she spread a rumor that I had lice, and no one talked to me for like a week, and it was very depressing and sad. And she was just a bully. She was just a bully, and so that was in sixth grade, and then seventh grade, man, I came for my revenge. She said that to my friend, and I literally stepped in front of my friend, and I was like, "You don't say that. Like you you don't say that. That's racist. You don't say that." And then she was like, "What are you gonna do about it? Hit me?" And like, or no, what are you gonna do about it? Slap me? Do it. Like she said that in my I swear my hand just magically
Damn.
I swear I didn't even think about it. Like, I just did it because she literally told me to, so I did it. Like, I don't. And you know what? She deserved it. And she went up to the bathroom and cried. She didn't tell on me, and she never fucked with me again, or my friend. So it was like, would I? Like, I would go back and do it again. Like,
That's
you
justified.
know? Yeah,
Mine
but
was what?
that's the only like physical altercation I've ever been in. But honestly, I'm proud of that moment. So it's whatever.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you think that I would get into fights? Like,
You seem like grounded and like genuine, and like the way you talk is you just don't seem like you don't give that vibe, you know? You give like a nice, I mean, not that like a genuine person can't fight, is like you totally can, but
yeah.
I just don't get the fighting vibes from you, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, all this shit happened like a while ago. So, like, yeah, like I'm grounded now, but back then, like, my shit was like completely unjustified. Like, it was just kind of like, um, I was the villain in the scenario. like I don't know. Like, it was just like I don't know. It was this fucked up shit, but it was just kind of like when you don't feel good about yourself and you like get manipulated, like you just want to hurt people. That's what I would do.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, hurt people hurt people.
yeah, I mean it's kind of as simple as that. Like that's why like I try and like use my word. I think you avoid a lot of confrontation. And you're like, let's say anybody watching this is a fucking hothead and like just loves fucking people up for no reason. Not for no reason, but like you get in an argument with someone and it starts to get physical. If you want to avoid that, get better at communication, because then they're like, if fucking somebody asks you how you doing and you're like, fine, I'm okay, I'm good, stop asking me, like then they will fucking hate you and they will like they don't like that. But if you say, I'm still struggling, like I just I can't get an erection or some like I don't fucking know, whatever someone would say. What I don't know why that came out.
Why did
Sponsored by
that
Blue
come
Chew. So we're not sponsored by Blue Chew.
sponsored by
Blue Chew, hit me up, free samples, I'm looking for it. But like if you communicate, then people like understand you and they'll feel comfortable around you and they won't get in a fucking argument with you. So that's what I kind of do. I'm just like, I think how are you doing, Michael? I don't know. I just I felt like a fucking like I had a dream about fucking I don't know, like what I'm saying, just shit like that. Like shouts out Theo Von. I just had a little flash in my head about when he talked about eating a Vietnamese guy. Do you remember that one?
Yes. I love Gilbon so much. I I think he was, yeah, I think there's a clip of him. Do you know who Brianna Chicken Fry is? She's on the BFFs podcast with Dave Portnoy and Josh Richards.
Nah, but if I seen her, I probably know.
Okay, she's also big on TikTok, and so her name's Brianna Chicken Fry, but like Chicken Fry isn't her real last name. It's just like,
It's
she
not.
likes chicken fries. So that's it's just like her TikTok handle. And Theo Vaughn was like, he said something about like, oh, is chicken fry like ethnic or something, or like Indian or something, and he got like roasted, and it was just like it was funny the way he said chicken fry. Like he's just like funny to me.
Chicken fry or some. Like, you probably said it like
Yeah.
chicken fry or
This
some
was like a
shit.
cute little southern accent, and it was just like, you're awesome, Theo Vaughn. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's like my inspiration. I feel like I'm like kind of like a no. Well, I feel like some. Now that I think about it, I'm like, I feel like I'm kind of similar to Theo Vaughn. Can we please cut that out? Please
No.
cut that out.
Now I'm gonna have to
Please
edit
cut.
this.
Okay, wait. Okay, let me explain that though, because
We're keeping it in.
I feel like I feel like okay. I feel like I'm like him in one way, not like the comedian, funny, just amazing, genuine person type way, but the parts where he like says something that can be considered like it sounds I don't it's like it sounds kind of not dumb, but just like
Ignorant.
ignorant or like why are you saying that? Like how did that come out of your brain? Like I feel like I have that. Like I say things and I'm like, "Oh, like I don't know if I should have said that," or like I don't know if that came across
Yeah.
like I don't think that came across funny. I think it came across dumb, but then it's like it's just like me. That's it's
Yeah,
so hard
yeah,
to
yeah. No,
explain.
no, I totally understand what you mean. Like you just like you're very free with how you speak. You know.
Yeah.
And I fuck with
Yeah, but
that.
in no other way am I like him. He's one of a kind. He's very a unique, just a great personality.
You got to get a mullet. I'm just
I know I
playing.
should.
I
Honestly,
mean,
with all this talk, I'm gonna have to, or I'm gonna get canceled.
dye hair, dye your hair like red with the mullet, and wear overalls and fucking
I have a question for you.
what?
Okay, and what's the worst thing like a girl or a guy has? What's the worst thing like a person has done to you, or what are like some of the worst things like worst? What are some of like the worst and crazy things people have like put you through or like done to you?
Fuck. Isn't there like new YouTube monetization policy? I don't fucking care. Mm, robbed at gunpoint, sexual abuse. Um, what else? Just like being being beaten, like sat on with a chair. That was a bad one.
Oh
Almost
my
got drowned by someone.
Oh my. Okay, wow. Wow, those are that's dark.
I mean,
That
yeah,
yeah,
but like,
but like that's
um,
real.
yeah, like
Shit.
fucking what else? Or just being like coerced into doing shit. Like I was coerced into just pretty dark shit, like
I get
violent
that.
shit, like fucking yeah. I've been
I get
around some bad people, like but yeah.
and
What about you?
it's well, I don't know how I can compete with Rob at gunpoint, but I'll try. Okay. Okay, so I like okay. I'm just gonna list stuff. I'm gonna list stuff that he did. Okay, so I dated a sociopath and I walked in on him and cheated on me with a 15-year-old on my 18th birthday and he was like 21. Um, my ex-boyfriend peed on me and slapped me and called me the F word. And then
Which one?
for no reason, a different one. And his younger brother witnessed the whole thing.
How old's his younger
He peed
brother?
on my leg, my age. We were both in the same grade.
That's still fucked.
And then and then why am I? Oh, I I got left by my best friend and the guy I was in love with in like it was like a 3 hours out of town, and we were at this party kickback thing, and they like I had alcohol poisoning, and they left me outside like on rocks, like they all left, and then I was there all night, and I woke up with like blood. It was bad. Um,
Fuck.
that was bad. I've I thought I had. Okay, wait. Can I
That's
just pull
pretty
up like
bad. Like we don't have to
I
compete. Like.
no wait no because I think there's one that's like really funny, but I can't remember it. I can't remember. There's a one that's like really funny, but I like can't remember. Oh no, that's not it. Have you ever been pulled over before?
Yeah.
I I got my first speeding ticket not that long ago. And it was because oh, that's it. So my other ex-boyfriend, I broke up with because I found out he was closeted and he was actually in love with his guy best friend the whole time we were dating for 6 months. And then when I brought it to his attention, he started projectile vomiting, calling me the F word, and ripping his mattress out of his bed and banging his head on the walls. So I was like, oh, got it. Your emotional reaction is telling me everything I know. I'm a dip. So that was pretty crazy. It's like, it's very humbling experience. And I knew I wasn't crazy. I'm like, because I'd be hanging out with them both, and I'd be like, something isn't right here, because I'd feel like invisible when I'd hang out with them. Yeah,
That's
so
wild, yeah. What the fuck?
I have a lot of like weird, I have a lot of weird things. Oh, one of my ex, it's the one who was a sociopath. He sent me like a video of him like doing the deed with another girl because he thought it was funny. That's like a good one.
That's
That
not
was fun.
nice.
No, it was awful,
That's
honestly.
fucked, yo. Why the fuck? I don't. I
Yeah.
see that shit on Twitter with like people doing that to like their exes or like they're like breaking up with someone, but they break up with someone by doing that, and it's like, why, bruh? Like, why you gotta do that to someone?
Literally. It's insane. Do you think... Oh, actually, no, I'm not gonna ask that question.
Just ask it. We already
I was
fucking
gonna
talked
say,
about some crazy shit, so.
so do you think if, like, let's say a popular guy at, like, your high school has, like, multiple sexual assault allegations against him from, like, girls in his grade or girls at the school, and let's say one of these girls, like, had a really close friend on, like, the volleyball team or something, and then that girl started dating the guy with all the sexual assault allegations. Do you think that's like, do you think the girl is just as guilty, like knowing that there's like multiple girls who have come out about the guy she's with? Like, do you think that's like the girl's fault? Well, not the girl's fault, but do you think the girl's guilty for like staying with him because it's kind of like invalidating other girls, especially like people that she knew? Or do you think like there's probably an element of like manipulation going on and it's not the girl's fault, or like I don't know. I feel like this is a controversial question, so I kind of just like want to hear your opinion.
So if you date someone with multiple assault
No,
allegation, no, not you. I'm
no,
not saying you. Like
not me.
if someone dates someone with
But
multiple assault allegations, I think that if the allegations are from like a little while before, you know, it makes sense. Or if no more assaults happen while they are dating, then that's good. But I do think that it can invalidate other people's experiences. But if the person doesn't continue to do it, then that's okay. If the person is manipulating and there's another assault involved, or he is a bad partner, then that is basically like the new person's kind of enabling the person by like being with them still, probably.
damn,
And then
it's a hot take.
yeah, so I think it can be okay and it can be bad because like, but at the end of the day, his issues need to be like solved and he needs to somehow be accountable for that. In a either, I mean, what people kind of understand is that it can be accountable enough if people walk around. If you walk around and people think shit about you every fucking second, like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So like, it can be bad enough, but sometimes obviously there needs to be a harsh punishment. But it can be just as bad as an unspoken punishment. An unspoken punishment could be fucking, you know, that someone could potentially have heard about a mistake that you made, and you have to live on your life thinking that or any random Joe could potentially hear about some shit that you did. And
that's
that's
true.
almost worse, if not bad, than being straight up like hit with probation or jail time.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm on the other spectrum of that answer. I feel like the girl is guilty at a certain degree. Because, I mean, and maybe it's like me because I've been through that situation.
It is kind of
And like,
masochistic. Like if you want to date someone that has like allegations, like you know what I mean. So like nobody kind of just rushes into that like randomly. Like oh, I think this guy's nice. I'm gonna date him. Like
yeah, like, I had a really good friend on the volleyball team, and she started dating like a guy who like had sexually assaulted me and like a lot of other people. And I'm just like, I don't know, ever since, and that was like senior year, like 2 years ago. I don't know how long I think they're broken up now, but they dated for a while, and I was just like, I don't know, it just like made me upset. I'm like, how can you date someone who has like all these sexual assault allegations, especially from like girls you know? Like, I don't know. It just, I
I
don't
mean, if
know.
you know
But
about it before, then yes, that invalidates it. But if you didn't know before, then that doesn't invalidate someone. Like if you knew the whole fucking time before and after and during the relationship, then like that's definitely invalidating. But if you didn't know, like if you just didn't know, then like you know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. Okay. Wow, I had a really good question and I forgot it. I think it was about high school.
Yeah,
Um, what was the worst like year of high school for you from like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior? Like which one
senior.
was like the worst? Same.
Yeah, senior year, I fucking sold the most drugs. I did the most drugs. I did the worst shit to people. I made the most mistakes. I lost a lot of friends. I found myself in like multiple traumatizing scenarios, and it was fucked. I don't know how I got through it, but it was the best for my like creative career. That's when I made the most best shit that I've ever made. But I do think that now I do make way better shit, and there's more like clarity with how I make stuff, like because I do it because I like it. But when I was doing shit back then, it was because I was trying to escape it by doing what I was doing, and it caused a lot of good art to be made, but there is a lot of like bad reasoning behind it. You know what I mean? It's like I was kind of insomniac and shit. I would go through. I had a lot of manic episodes where I just like get really violent with someone, like kind of randomly, just with like kind of no thought into it. But now it's like I'm medicated. I take like 5 different medications. So like now I've gone like a good 9 months without any substances or manic episodes or bipolar fucking meltdowns because you know I'm bipolar. And yeah,
Let's go. That's a huge accomplishment. I'm I can't 100% relate, but I got diagnosed with quiet borderline personality disorder. Um, and I have experienced a lot of manic episodes or it's like mania and then depression, mania, depression. Um, but my anger is like all inwards, so like I'm extremely self-destructive and like I self-sabotage a
yeah,
lot. Like just like binge eating, like just fucking really impulsive decisions. I've made really bad decisions. I've I used to like a year ago, I would just like go on Bumble and I just go like and meet like random men, like not even like to hook up necessarily, but just like to escape reality and like I was just very lonely and very just impulsive, would just do anything, like go anywhere. Which like make for like a lot of great podcast stories now, but it's definitely it's hard. Manic is a very weird thing.
dating apps do not help your mental health, and I fall victim to that at times. Like a lot of dating apps, like it just fucks me up. Like it kind of makes me kind of it distorts like what like love can be.
Oh, absolutely, because I mean it's just from like first attraction and like
It's a
there's so
video
many
game.
things wrong with that. Oh, absolutely. It's a freaking simulation.
Yeah,
Simulation. Simulation.
like it's just fucked. Like I think there's this like video. This guy was like making fun of like dating apps. He was like, "You guys gotta watch out where you put your dipstick. These dating apps are like Flappy Bird. It's like, I want this pussy, I want this pussy, I want this pussy, and that shit is not healthy." And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
That's freaking true. I mean, yeah, it's, there's a statistic where it's like, girls can look at as many like attractive guys as they want, and they'll never like see their partner less attractive. But then guys, on the other hand, they'll like look at like attractive women or whatever, and they'll actually see their partner as like a little bit less attractive. Isn't that crazy?
That's probably true. Like, I mean, I've never
Oh,
really
it is.
I
It's
never
like
really dated anyone,
science.
but yeah. Like, because every time I look at like fucking dating apps, it's like they get the more swipes there is, the more attractive like they're like the more attractive it gets. Like usually like it's like instant like gratification. Like, oh my god, another picture, another picture, another picture, another picture. And that's another thing too. Like with the dating apps thing is what it like also kind of does to desensitize the shit. There's a lot of nudes being shared on there, and I think that especially at a young age, I mean, a lot of people in my school fell victim to this. People trust too many
Like
people.
oh, absolutely. I've fall victim to that. And it's not good. Again, like it makes for great podcast stories. Like, like my first, did you listen to my first podcast episode about Todd? The crazy stalker, like guy who like he like has a podcast. He's been blown up by the Nelk Boys. Now I have beef with the Nelk
Oh
Boys
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
they blew out my freaking stalker. And he's in their video called like Big Jewel Prank or something like that. But Todd's fucking crazy. Met him off Bumble. His name's not actually Todd. I just like don't want to get sued. But that was
Dox 'em.
crazy. Yes. um yeah, he thought he was being like hunted by the cartel. But that was cool. And I went over there and God, that was awful. Okay, anyways. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. I've been I've been writing a book.
Yeah, talk about that.
Okay, so I've been writing a biography about my life. And at first it was gonna be called like My Fucked Up Life because I've just always felt like my life is like fucked up, but it's like crazy fucked up where it's like, oh shit, this should be a movie. But like sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's like, whoa, very traumatic and scary, and then other times it's just like hilarious, like it's very funny and dark humor sprinkled in there. And so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna write a biography before I forget about all the shit that's happened to me. And the first night I started writing, because I saw this TikTok on TikTok, and this girl was like, I wrote a biography in 24 hours. And then I was thinking, and I was like, okay, if I were to write a biography, it would take me like a year. Like with all the crazy shit that's happened, like, are you kidding me? So I started writing, and like in the first whole night I stayed up, I wrote like 22 pages on Google Docs. And I'm like, okay, this is a lot. And it's very interesting actually because I wanted it to be a biography. And it kind of started, it's, can I actually read you the first paragraph of it? Because I feel like it kind of sets the tone um,
Yeah, sure.
for a lot of things. Okay,
We've been doing this
so
for an hour and 10 minutes. Yeah. Fuck, that's fire.
yeah, damn. How long do you usually go for?
I mean, shit, like 30 minutes to an hour. I've done
Okay,
three and a
okay,
half
okay.
hours before though, but
That's kind of cool. Okay, this is the first paragraph of my biography. This isn't your average traumatic childhood bullshit story. This is an extremely fucked up story that I wish weren't real things that I've been through. This book will be extremely difficult for me to write as I will start to unfold my fucked upness to you. I will be reliving everything I ran away from. This book will also be difficult for you, the reader, so take a few minutes to prepare yourself. Get a cup of tea, a comfort snack, maybe even some tissues and a barf bag. I hope you're ready because we're diving straight into a memory that doesn't belong to me, but it's very relevant to the story. Scratch that, my story. So, it's a little cheeky, starts off with a little bit of spice.
Spice,
Um,
yeah. Little marination, little fucking Himalayan salt.
exactly, and it's been a very therapeutic for me writing, like, a bunch of different shit. But it's interesting how by, like, the second page, it actually turned into, like, it turned into it turned into like everything about my this guy that I was like manipulated by for 3 years from ages like 15 to 18, and he was 3 years older than me. Like when I was a sophomore, he was a senior. Like I'd be out partying with like the seniors at age 15, just like not good.
Yeah.
And this guy, like he's like a sociopath. Um and he put me through the fucking ringer. So it kind of just like it it very quickly became into like a novel about him and like the whole experience and what he put me through, because honestly everything about that is extremely interesting to me even now. Because think of like, have you seen the show You on Netflix?
I've seen like clips of it. I don't know what's it about. What it's about. Yeah.
So the main guy's either a sociopath or a psychopath. I don't think it's ever really confirmed, but he has like some sort of like personality disorder. And he just like he murders a lot of people, like he manipulates a lot of people, he gaslights, but like think of that, just like no murders. But like think about like Joe Goldberg from You, and like just crazy shit, but also like mixed in with like teen stuff and parties and
Like
sneaking
Nate
out and
Jacobs from
yeah,
Euphoria.
yeah, just like just yeah, yes, just like, and it's just very interesting because this man is just, if you're from Humboldt, if you're from Eureka, you know this person. Like
Mm.
he was like everyone's favorite partier, like life of the party. Like sociopaths are very good at manipulating people, and they can be very charismatic. You can know a sociopath for fucking decades and not know that they're sociopaths. Well, usually there comes to a point where like their mask starts to slip
Yeah.
and you just kind of pick up on things. I feel like that's kind of what happened with me, but it definitely took me like 3 whole years. But I don't know, like at 15 years old, it was so exciting to me that like a senior wanted to like come take me out, because every night, like my mom would be drunk and try to fight me. Like I would do anything to get out of the house. So if that meant partying with older people or partying in general, like I'd do whatever it took to get out of the house. And in Eureka, in a small town like that, partying, doing drugs, like whatever, like that's pretty much the only thing to do. And like smoke weed and look at the moon and stuff, and
Yeah.
do shrooms. I love shrooms. But yeah, it's just very interesting how like my book became about that. I think like something like that can affect you for a really long time. Um,
It sounds
yeah, I
like
can
really
talk about that
meaningful to
for so
you.
long. It honestly it is. I feel because one day I want to like put it into a movie, just because there's so many situations that happen with him that are very interesting. And like to begin with, like I thought this was like the perfect person, but the whole time they were just like mirroring me and showing me what I wanted to see and like really manipulating me. Like there's this one night he had me stay at my house and like to build a fort for us, and then like he went out to get pizza. He was gone for like 2 hours. I'm like, does it take that long to get pizza? And he comes back and there's only one slice of the pizza left. And he's like, "Oh, I got hungry." And then like I'm looking at like a girl's Snapchat story, and it's like a picture of him and her eating our pizza.
That's
And like he would do stuff like that.
fucked.
Yeah, he would, and then like that was like the first night he kissed me. And then it's just like it was just, and then the first time I lost my virginity was to him when I was 17 and a half, when I was a senior. And it was while I was on shrooms.
That probably
So like,
ruined the like that. I don't know. But then there's the thing. There's a quote from Lady Bird, which I think you'll like. It's like it's like a thing. I forget how it goes, but it's like there's plenty of meaningless sex that you'll have in your life, like especially at a young. I forget, but it was like, yeah, first sexual experiences are always fucking horrifying. Like, to me, they were probably for everyone.
honestly, relatable. 10 out of 10.
Ten
I
out of
should watch
ten.
that movie.
Same, man. Yeah, watch it. Watch it.
I
Um,
think I'm either gonna watch it tonight or tomorrow, actually. Cause like,
yeah.
I don't got anything else going on. Oh, also I Twitch stream. If anyone that watches this want to follow me on Twitch, my Twitch is Megatron is me, and my Instagram is Megan K Page. We don't have to end it. I'm just throwing it in there because I will forget.
I got shit to do in the morning, so we should probably end this. But
Okay, I'm down.
But nah, it's cool. But thank you for coming on the show. Stick around after. I'm just like talking shit. But thank you for coming on. This is a fucking good episode. I haven't like gotten like a lot of satisfaction, like meaningful satisfaction. I have an episode in a little bit. You know what I mean? So thank you.
Yeah,
We should do more.
of course. We should, and thank you for dealing with my like sporadic ADHD type, because I know I kind of sporadic, kind of flop everywhere and just blurt things in.
It's
So
cool. It's
thank
cool.
you
It's
for
cool.
like, being able to bounce ideas off of you. Like, thank you for having me on. This was honestly really fun. I really like how you do your shit, and I'm really excited for this episode to come out. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Link in the description to your. What's good?
Yeah, it's link in the description for my podcast. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming on. Check out your friend's podcast and all that. Peace out.